In this episode, I'm covering the absolute non-negotiable focus points that you should be making a priority in that first year of your membership to really ensure that your community is set up to scale to 7 figures faster. This episode is going to be like a cheat sheet to growing your membership, so definitely make sure you take notes and you save this episode. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help female entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Memberships Podcast. Today's episode, I want you to listen up for a second. If you are tuning into this and you're like, oh, well, I'm not in the first year of my membership, I'm going to skip on through. Rethink that for a second, because I see so many founders, so many membership community founders who, when I start getting into their memberships and I go through my own little checklist, which I'm going to really honestly be guiding you through a lot of it here today. When I go through my little checklist, there's so many of these things that people skip, not even because they're lazy or whatever else, but like they just don't know it, right? It's one of those things that you just don't know until you learn it and you know. And if you are struggling to grow your membership right now, even if you've had your membership for 3 years and you feel like it's still not where it should be or could be, maybe your community isn't really sticky, or maybe you're just not growing, you've kind of been plateaued, listen to this episode, because you could very well be missing one of these key focus areas that we're going to be talking about today. And if you are in that first year of starting your membership, this is such a good episode to listen to and keep coming back to. Like, honestly, save this episode, come back to it multiple times, because this is going to truly be one of those things that will help you really just stay focused, stay consistent, and grow your membership the right way. So let's dive right into it. Again, I want you to be taking notes on this episode. And if you can't take notes right now, come back, take notes. I basically want you to make sure you have every single one of these points in your work schedule moving forward. So the first non-negotiable that you want to be focusing on to set your membership up for 7-figure success in that first year is, number 1, you need to make sure that you have a very strong community building focus. This might be like a duh page. I have a membership. Of course, I'm trying to build a community, but hear me out for a second. What I see a lot of people doing when they're trying to build a membership community, especially like if you're somebody who obviously comes from just a social media background and maybe you've grown a following there, or maybe you're coming from like one-on-one services where you're really used to just talking to people one-on-one and helping people one-on-one. This is something that a lot of people actually don't do correctly. I'll tell you why. A lot of people are building audiences and not communities. So an audience, the difference between that, an audience is when people are talking to you. So if you ever noticed inside of your membership community, if you have one, where you post in the community and people just are talking back to you, or people post in the community and they're just asking for your support. They're not asking for other people's support or leaving their question open-ended. Everyone just kind of seems to want to talk to you. That is because you still have an audience focus inside of your membership. You don't have a community focus. So a community focus, this actually happens when your members are talking to each other. So they're asking questions in the group and they're asking, hey, does anyone know this? Or they're posting in the group themselves saying, oh my God, I just thought of this one thing. It helped me. Here you go, everyone. This is for everyone to enjoy. Like, people are really trying to speak to each other and they're almost forgetting about you. And that's like the best thing ever. That's not a bad thing. As a membership founder, that's actually a really good thing. So you really want to make sure that your members are having member-to-member conversations and that is your focus. If that's not happening in your membership right now, you have to make it happen. You have to be making this your priority. And this, I will say, this is something that is going to be a focus. It's going to be an ongoing task and an ongoing focus for you inside of your membership in that first year, and maybe even a little bit longer, because it takes time to build. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time to build build a culture like that. It takes time to get people to really operate that way inside of your membership and want to talk to other people. And it also takes time for people to kind of like step into their own roles inside of your community. You'll notice that some people are stepping into more of a leadership role. Some people kind of like to sit back. Some people really like to help. You know what I mean? That is kind of what is going to take time to establish. But as long as you are not just sitting back and hoping for the best, and you are really trying to guide your members to this ideal outcome of member to member conversation and connection every single day inside of your membership, then it will take off. It will take place, but it does actually take work. It's not something that's just going to happen. So ways that you can do this, obviously, any kind of conversations that you're having inside of your membership or any sort of posts, that is the number one place I would start, is looking at the posts that you're putting inside of your community. Maybe like every Wednesday you have some sort of wins, everyone share their wins or something like that. How can you take that post and actually turn it into something where members engage with other members? So maybe that is sharing a win and then commenting on someone else's win, or sharing what you're struggling with this week and then looking at what someone else is struggling with and see if you can offer any sort of advice or tips or whatever it might be. So you're trying to take things that you're already doing and actually now just make them into conversation starters for the entire group and not just have people talking to you. So that's the first place I would go. Other places that you can go with this is doing things where members are actually in a shared experience within your membership. So obviously, them being inside of your community is a shared experience. However, can you give them little micro shared experiences within that big experience, which is your membership? So this could look like challenges. If you have a health or fitness membership, maybe every quarter you do like a 21-day lock-in challenge or 21-day fat loss challenge or whatever it might be. So they're in your membership for this big goal of getting the healthiest they've ever been, but then inside of that membership container, you're actually doing these mini challenges and these mini events where members can actually just have a shared experience together and really focus in on one thing together in shorter bursts of time. These work great because people look forward to them and then they're really gung-ho on getting the result of whatever the challenge is. So they're communicating more, and then naturally by them communicating more in that little challenge, they just start to form connections. And that's when your community actually is going to start getting grippy and sticky and take place. Wrapping this up, you want to connect members at every opportunity possible. Okay, moving on. Number 2 is you need to start lean and add as needed. So if you already have your membership, this could maybe be something that you just know for next time, or maybe that if you're doing some restructuring, you can keep this in mind. This one is really going to be for you if you haven't started your membership yet, or you are just really in the planning phase of what you're going to actually include inside of your membership. It's really tempting to add lots of everything. For example, it's really tempting to want to give your members the absolute best experience. So you start right off the hop with 8 calls a month and new templates released every 2 weeks and a guest speaker coming in every single month. And then you want to price it super amazing and give people the most value. Like, yeah, that sounds awesome. But is that something that, number 1, you can keep up with as a membership founder? And number 2, do your people actually need all of that? Or are you just stuffing your membership full because you want them to get the value of your membership? So I always say, if you are in the very beginning stage of your membership, you want to start lean and then add as needed. Start lean with your founding members and get feedback. You should always be getting feedback from your members. But why I say start lean is because it is much easier to add things to your membership than it is to take things away. Let's just say someone's paying $147 a month for your membership and you had all of those things. And then you end up realizing, oh shit, they don't actually need all of this. I can't keep up with this. This is just overwhelming. This is too much. I'm not liking my membership because of it. So then you start to say, okay, maybe instead of 8 calls, I'm going to do 4 calls. And maybe instead of a guest person coming in every month, they come in every quarter. So then you take those things away. But what ends up happening, here's where it gets really tricky, is that person who is paying $147 a month for your membership, they came into your membership with the notion that they were paying for those 8 calls. They were paying for that guest person to come into your membership every single month. So now if you're taking those things away, you have to have a conversation with your members and likely give them a discount now on your membership because you went and you added too many things right from the beginning. And usually what ends up happening here is people get annoyed or people just end up leaving, or it just makes your membership look unprofessional. So instead, if you were to start really lean and then you figure, okay, it actually does make sense for me to have guest people come into my membership every month, or okay, it actually does make sense for me to add one more call. Now, instead of having to go to your members and be like, hey, sorry, I know that you came in this membership expecting all of these things, but I'm actually going to take some of these away. Now you can go to your members and say, hey, we are actually going to be adding more value to this membership, but don't worry, your investment stays the same. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to pay more. And as long as you stay inside of this membership, you get to keep this price. So not only are you over delivering to your members, but now it actually encourages your members to stay in longer because they don't want to leave and then come back and then have to pay a higher price if you ended up increasing your price point once you added things in. So start lean, make sure that everything inside of your membership is actually connected to the result. Don't just add things in there to add things in there. Make sure every single thing that you have inside of your membership to start is tied to an actual purpose, is tied to them getting the result in some way or another. If you find that your members are needing more, if you're finding that there's something that needs to be added, you can then go do so. And it actually is going to look good on your membership versus the other way around. Number 3 is you want to make sure that you are constantly reviving and making your success path as easy to follow as possible. And if you don't have a success path, make sure you put in your agenda right now to focus on that because it's really huge. If you don't know what a success path is, this is basically just how your members are going to get a result inside of your membership. So if members are unclear on how they'll actually see a result with you or what they actually need to do inside of your membership to get X result, then they're going to leave. If members are unclear, if members are confused, if members can't actually understand how they'll get somewhere or can't see themselves in a result, if the result feels too big and there's no milestones for them to really understand and between steps for them to understand, then they're just going to feel overwhelmed and they'll leave. So your members really need to understand what does their journey look like inside of your membership, especially if you have a membership. And I'll explain because there's kind of obviously 2 types of memberships. If your membership has a specific result, let's just say you're a business membership. Well, I'll use $1 Million Memberships Club for an example. So $1 Million Memberships Club, which is my membership, the result is huge, especially if you are starting from a brand new membership. Our result literally can take you from just an idea all the way to a 7-figure paid online membership community. That's a big result. So if I just had people come into the club and I said, hey, if you're in here, you're going to learn everything you need to have a 7-figure membership, but then that's it. I didn't actually show them what exactly they're going to be doing or what exactly they need to do. People are going to have a hard time believing my words if I can't actually show them what this is going to look like. So for example, inside of MDMC, we have a MDMC checklist is what it's called. And it's broken into 3 sections. It's broken into our build mode, which is basically for new founders building their membership, really getting the membership basics in, learning how to execute their first sales, learning how to even get membership sales. All of the basics when it comes to membership building are in that first phase. Our second phase is called our culture mode. This is where people spend a lot of time really building the culture of their membership. So we really focus on community building. We focus on member-to-member connection. We focus on actually getting your members' results inside of your membership, whatever that looks like for your particular membership, all of those kind of things to do with your actual members. Then our next mode is our $1 million mode. This is where we really focus on taking everything that you have built inside of the club and basically pouring gas on an already lit fire. So this is where we really focus on scaling your membership, bringing in team members, really scaling your business, your brand. There's a lot of things there. And so in our checklist, it is all broken into steps of what you need to actually do in each phase. And on top of that, we even have roadblocks of what roadblocks you might run into. It sounds really good on paper to be able to have this amazing launch and get your first 100 members, but what happens if you don't get your first 100 members? That could be a roadblock. So we tell you, okay, well, if you hit this roadblock, here's what you need to do. Don't move on until you actually get here. And here's some other things that you can do in order to get past this first step. So it really is taking the big result that we have inside of the membership, which is for $1 Million Memberships Club, growing a 7-figure membership and breaking it down into little actual achievable, attainable, easy to digest chunks so that it's less overwhelming and just actually more actionable for our members. Now, if you have a membership that isn't necessarily a result like that, and it's more so just a community membership, something for people to get together and really meet people, create connections, all of those type of things, you instead want to say, how are they going to be successful in this membership? So what does that actually look like? What does total integration of your membership look like in their life? What are they going to feel in their day-to-day life? What are some things that they can do inside of your community to really integrate into your community? How many times can they show up? Can they lead calls? Is there an option to request leadership in your membership? Just all of these things that you can do. It doesn't matter if you have an actual result like learning a specific skill or growing a business or whatever it might be. It could literally be just a community membership, but what does it actually look like to be successful in your membership? So that is what your clear success path is, and that needs to be a focus if you don't have it. And this is something that you can build once. And as you get member feedback, it doesn't matter if you've had your membership for years, you constantly want to be getting your members' feedback. I try and do that every quarter inside of my membership where I actually get real feedback from them on a form where I'm constantly revising and revising. Even though I have a membership for memberships, I need to know what it is that my members are really experiencing in my membership and act accordingly to that. So this is something that you are constantly going to be refining until you know it is absolutely perfect. Number 4 is you really want to be focusing on founder-led presence. So this really means just leading by example. How do you want your community to feel? How do you want people to show up? How do you want people to post and engage with each other? Do you want people to post random life things in your membership, or do you want to really keep it to the topic? Think of how you want your membership to feel and show up that way. And here's why a lot of founders really struggle with this. A lot of people either go one of two ways. Some people will really go like the anxious route when it comes to memberships and just overextend yourself over and over and over again. So replying to every single person's comment where you are answering questions in depth like you would with one-on-ones, reviewing things, maybe even popping videos in the chat to answer people's questions, just giving your all, overextending, crossing your own boundaries, just so that you feel like your members actually see value inside of your membership. Or people go the other way, in which their mindset is almost, I'm not being paid enough for this, so I'm not going to show up inside of the membership. And you kind of just hope that your members take the lead in creating conversations and showing up in the membership, and then people just don't. So you really have to find a middle ground here, and just really know that in the first year and a half, you will feel like you are more so in your membership than you truly want to be long term. And that is okay, because you're setting the culture. You're really showing people how you want them to show up inside of this membership. So what I recommend you do is you create boundaries around your membership. Maybe, for instance, I personally am in my membership Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I am not in there every single day, but what I do is when I'm in there on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm really in there. I'm answering questions, I'm talking to people, I'm popping in the chat just as if I was a member as well, being in there, talking to people, sharing what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, answering our weekly engagement posts with my own answers, and really just trying to showcase how I want our members to be inside of the membership. And this really gives people permission to show up the same way, because there are some people who maybe they want to use your community more, but they don't see other people using it, so they don't know how to show up inside of that community. Eventually, what you will end up doing is you'll start to bring in support of other people who can start to help you with this, so that it's not only just you. Because if you do this and it's only just you doing this for however long, and you're not bringing in other people to support you with this, then that can also turn into that audience type of membership, which we don't want. We want the community membership. So this could look like bringing in ambassadors, leaders, people who work more inside of your membership or have a bigger role inside of your membership. This usually comes from people who have been members inside of your membership for a longer period of time, who you notice are automatically the ones who kind of show up a little bit more. This could be bringing in community managers, lots of options here, but just know in that first year of your membership growth, it's really going to be you setting the precedence of how you want your membership to look, how you want it to feel, how you want people showing up inside. And then really obviously working with point one, trying to get members to show up this way themselves and really communicate and bring other members in with them. Okay, we have 3 more for this episode. So number 5 is you want to have a consistent weekly cadence within your membership. So this is more so relating to consistent posts that you put into your membership every single week that actually stay the same or very, very similar. These are just routine posts that your members can expect every single week. They kind of can create their own routines around them. They can rely on these. They build habits around these. And why this is so important is because this actually does create that safety and that routine and that reliability within your membership to your members. Where a lot of people end up fumbling this is they themselves get bored of the post. They think, oh my gosh, I do this post every single week. People must be getting sick of this. I need to switch it up so people don't get bored. But in reality, it's actually quite the opposite. If you are constantly switching up your posts that you put in there, people can't keep up, or they feel like they're just being pulled into too many directions, or they haven't been able to really lock in and build a routine with your membership. The consistency for your members actually helps them connect to your membership. They know what to expect and they can really start to build their routines around it. Whereas for you, the membership founder, it might feel mundane, but it is an important piece to have in every single membership. So for an example, maybe every Monday you do Monday goal setting where your members are really setting their intentions for the week ahead. Maybe every Friday you're reflecting back on those intentions. Things that your members can actually build a routine around, because when people build a routine around something, that's when they want to open up your membership and they want to check in, right? It becomes part of their everyday. And that is what you want. That's how you're going to get your members to be staying long-term. So consistency and routine with your posts is actually a really good thing. Number 6 is you want to have a regular retention cadence. So very similar to your regular weekly cadence with your posts, you also want to have a regular retention cadence. You have to remember that on average, 70% of your membership revenue every year is coming from the members that you already have. So the renewing subscriptions, the people paying every single month, month after month, that is where the majority of your revenue is coming from. So if you are not focusing on those people and keeping those people inside of your membership, you are dropping the ball. You are losing out on a ton of membership revenue. This, I just cannot stress enough, needs to be priority. So this means that you have a really good retention schedule in place. If you're inside a $1 Million Memberships Club, we give you this so that you don't have to worry about it. Retention schedule, this is basically you're looking at retention cues from your members. You're looking at things like drop-off rate. Are you noticing that people are really engaged when they first start and then they're dropping off? Where are they dropping off? How long does it take them to drop off? You're looking at things like sign-ins. Are your members signing in consistently? If you have a course, if you have a back-end membership where they have modules or videos or whatever it might be, how often are people logging into that? What do the completion rates look like? Is just the engagement inside of your community? You can get a really good pulse on that every single month. How is the engagement? Could it be more? Is it feeling really quiet inside of your community? This is really about keeping tabs on your membership and how people are using your membership. If you want a full training on this, I actually did an episode 29. Yeah, episode 29, and it was called the 3 retention strategies every membership owner should be doing quarterly for a thriving membership community. So I recommend after you listen to this episode, go back and find that one. That's a really good, just actionable episode where again, you can just take notes and then plug it into your schedule. And number 7 is you really want to be focusing on your member celebration. This is where you just want to make sure your members feel really seen inside of your membership. They feel really supported. They feel really celebrated. This is such a big piece of just member experience. Making people feel seen, making people feel really heard, important, celebrated, appreciated for being in the community. This is how people are going to stay inside of your community. It's really important to master the art of making people feel seen at scale. And what I mean by that is when you have 100 people, 200 people, 500 people, 1,000 people inside of your membership, and you are only one person, for you to be able to make people feel seen and really recognized on different parts of their journey inside of your membership when they are amongst all of those other people is huge. And that is such an important piece of having a membership. So making sure that you have systems in place and automations in place and milestone markers in place to really recognize your members and celebrate your members. This could be around community participation, having your membership software actually track who is showing up in the community, who's really showing up as a leader in the community or posting a lot in the community and really just being active in the community. Most membership platforms are going to track this now. Even excitement for wins. When you are checking your membership channel every day or whatever your schedule is for your personal membership boundaries, having yourself, having your leaders, having your community managers really showing excitement for people's wins and really making sure that they know this is amazing. We are so proud of you. Thank you for posting this and showing up in the community to share this. Like really making sure they feel seen when they share wins. Any milestones. This could be time milestones, people who have been in your membership for 3 months, 6 months, a year. This could be people who complete certain phases of your membership. If you have a back-end membership, any sort of achievements that you have inside of your membership, trying to come up with ways to make sure your members really feel like what they are doing matters inside of your membership and you are really celebrating them any chance that you get. This is going to keep members really excited to stay, and it's also going to really encourage them to show up and be motivated to show up in your community because they see other people hitting these achievements and they want to hit it, and it brings them into the culture more, which is obviously in turn going to have them stay in your membership longer, and it's going to build more of a community inside of your membership amongst members. And if we remember from point 1, community building is priority. It's so important. So this is just such an overlooked and important step. And at the end of the day, you guys, all of these first year non-negotiables, they really come down to 2 main things. They come down to number 1, building culture. Almost every single point in here is around building a culture inside of your membership. And number 2, setting your members up for success. Really making sure that for them to see results inside of your membership, for them to be successful inside of your membership, you as the founder are setting your membership up in a way that's easy for them to do so. If you are on a membership growth journey this year, or you are trying to scale your membership, or you have a new membership idea, you're wanting to start your membership, pause this, head to the show notes. There's always membership resources that can help you really take these things further. I'm starting to run live masterclasses more often than I used to. So check the show notes and see if we have a masterclass coming up. If we do have one coming up, go join it. They are always such fun, such a vibe, and I go all out with those. And I usually give little membership gifts on them too. So definitely check the show notes and see if we have any masterclasses coming up, or if you really want to work inside of $1 Million Memberships Club and build your membership the right way with me, with our other members, and get absolutely every single thing that you need to build your membership from 0 to 7 figures, then you can always click our $1 Million Memberships link in the show notes and see if we are enrolling. If we are not enrolling at the time that you are listening to this, go ahead and add yourself to the wait list because you will be notified first once we open up again. And I tend to send little bonuses to our wait list as well. If we are open, make sure you get in there right away before doors close. And if you're loving the podcast, come say hi on Instagram. It's always so nice to see who's actually listening to the podcast. My Instagram is at the Membership Muse. That is where I'm most active anyway. And other than that, I hope this episode was super helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.